it's a difficult issue because the minister, I think, felt that she was responsible for the running of SASSA. Maybe her interpretation of what SASSA Act says would maybe made her to believe that she's the one that is running SASSA. As a person that has been a seasoned CEO, it was not the first time that I was a CEO at SASSA. I've been a coup at GPF. I was a CEO, acting CEO at Road Accident Fund. I had a board at GPF. We were reporting to the Minister of Finance, who was a travel manual at the time. And Road Accident Fund had a board. And then I became a CEO of SCHAB. I had a board. I know that the board, they've got fiduciary duty to look after the organization, which I thought the minister would be the same with the minister. I know that the issue of concurrence, which I never doubted once in my tenure there. The only problem that I had when the minister will come and start getting into the things that are taking place inside the organization, and run it as if it's her own. I don't want to sound negative, but it's her own shop. But and it start disturbing the smooth running of the organization. I know that I came at the time of crisis, and it's granted. Though I would have thought that I would have gone in on the 9th, 10th, or the 11th, or the 12th of June, things might have been different. But when I got in there, it was, I think, a little bit late, and there was a 1st of April. Now,
1st of November?
Yeah.
You said April?
No, I said there was an issue of 1st of April.
Oh.
The issue of 1st of April is the famous date of paying of grants, switching over from CPS over to SASSA. So there were things that the minister would do, would just pitch up in the office without saying to me that she's coming. The protocol, I would think that the minister would say to me, Mr. Magwaza, I'll be coming to your office and I need you to be there. And I think the minister did mention that she met with Zain and Sipo and some executives at the office. But I was not there because I had meetings outside. And the minute I hear from the PA, said, do you know that the boss is coming today? I mean, the boss is here. I said, she never told me that she's coming. Then I was in the middle of the meeting, and I was in Johannesburg, and they were in Pretoria. So I couldn't attend the meeting, not because I was defiant to the minister, and she knows that I could not be defiant to her. I've been with her since 2013, and I've been traveling with her more than anyone in the department. In events that she goes to, some political things that she went to, I've been with her. So she wouldn't think that I was defying her. So this letter was meant to ask the minister, because we're in a crisis. We wanted to run the organization. We wanted to make it a point that when 1st of April comes, we'll be able to do certain things. There was an issue of Ms. Mvulane, which is known. She wrote a statement and she did infirm certain things on how I felt about it. Yes, of course, I did feel that she's supposed to be reporting to the CEO, not to the minister. And I did talk to her about it, and not on the side, during the EXCO meetings, where I said, Ms. Mvulane, don't forget that you are supposed to be working with us, not working outside the perimeters of the department. So those gripes, I do mention them there on the issues of the processes that we're running this side while we are doing something. The issue of parallel process, again, was the issue of that there is an EXCO that is responsible for the day-to-day running of the organization. That is EXCO, led by the CEO.
We'll get to the parallel processes. I just wanted to ask you, you also sought to emphasize that you were the accounting officer and the accounting authority and officer of SASSA. What point were you seeking to make by pointing that out in the letter?
There is a SASSA Act which the minister was using for doing what she was doing, and we have PFMA that we're supposed to be using as accounting officers. And when it comes to financial issues of the organization, which mostly the things that were happening going towards the issue of switching over from CPS, it was going to be a transactional process. So I felt that some of those things we needed to be dealt with inside. Then we go to the minister for concurrence. My take that concurrence is not that the minister will tell us what to do. We will sit down, we'll deliberate, and then we'll write a memo and we'll write it to the minister for her to concur. That's what had happened. I did it in December, like she mentioned on that one, on that issue about the technical team when we were going to National Treasury and Reserve Bank. But she never signed a single one of those concurrence, not a single one she signed.
So you considered it your responsibility to ensure that SASSA delivered on its mandate. That's what you say in the letter. Is that correct? As the accounting and authority and officer.
I would say on my part, I did everything what was supposed to be done at the time that I came in. From the time I moved in and the meetings that I had with my staff, the meetings I had with the people outside the department but within the government space, which I'm not too sure whether we're going to be able to discuss that later. But those things, I did everything that was supposed to be done. And the minister was aware of those things.
And did she have a different sense of areas of responsibility that you seem to complain about in your letter?
She never had a problem much when we were talking all the time. Those what I called our usual meetings. The only time that she complained was the issue of the affidavit. That's where the issue of real complaints about the way that I was running the organization that she didn't feel good about. But we discussed it because we had meetings, and those meetings we speak about on my affidavit. I think Zain did mention it on his.
Yes, we'll come to that. She says from the time that you were appointed, you were a disruptive force within SASSA.
No, Judge, maybe my colleague wants to rephrase that question.
I don't mind rephrasing it. She seemed to convey the impression that you were a negative. He doesn't like that either. Perhaps, do you recall her evidence?
Yeah, let me refer to her evidence through Judge. The minister said that the previous CEOs...
Sorry, and you must refer to evidence only and only in relation to that issue.
Yeah.
And keep yourself to answering questions as they come.
Okay.
And not going beyond the needs of a particular question.
Thanks, Judge.
Right.
She did say that when I arrived, before I arrived, she had a different relationship, or the way she was doing things was different from the previous CEOs. But when I arrived, things were different, and I'm not sure that will be true, because I was with the minister more than any one of the people in the department. I was traveling with the minister all over, and that I found it very strange when she said that.
Now, we'll return to this later in the context of the parallel processes. If we could then deal with the work streams and your affidavit. If you would go to your affidavit, page 701, paragraph 11. Does Judge have it? It's the black sash bundle, page 701. judges with us. Do you have it, Mr. Magwaza?
I do.
Now, paragraph 11, would you just read the first two sentences of paragraph 11?
These work streams were given a broad mandate to take over the implementation of the project, and SASSA was instructed not to interrupt them or delay them.
And the next sentence?
The work streams reported directly to the minister and not SASSA.
Now, the first sentence is that SASSA was instructed not to interrupt them or delay them. Would you indicate, in relation to your statement, to your affidavit, and to your knowledge, when was that instruction given? And I could assist you by referring you to your affidavit, but could you, I'll give you the paragraph, but could you just elaborate upon that? That instruction not to interrupt them or delay them.
The reasons why I said what I've said on my affidavit, in the meeting that we had on the 24th, I was invited, by the way, just before I came into SASSA on the 3rd of November. I was invited to attend the EXCO meeting where the work streams were going to report for the first time to the EXCO on the 24th of October, if I'm not mistaken. It was in Pulugwane, and we had the Golden Games that we're doing as a department, which was responsible for as a DG. I discovered there that there were complaints. In fact, this is what happened in that meeting.
Oh, sorry, if you could I just direct you to the minutes of that meeting? Be of assistance when you give your evidence. It's in the SASSA bundle at page 203 and following. Do you have it, Mr. Magwaza? So perhaps
just a minute.
Yes, I've got it now.
It's really from page 206 to perhaps 209, and then again 211 and 214. But let's just start with 206, and perhaps you can just reference what you're referring to from the minutes. Answering the question.
I'm referring to the second paragraph of the second column on discussion on SASSA readiness on takeover of payment, where the EXCO members were of the view that there was a gap between the workstream leaders and SASSA, as they were not fully involved in the process. That's when I discovered that SASSA executives said in the meeting, they were meeting the work streams in October for the first time. Now, the minister, I think, did say it yesterday or the day before yesterday about the issues that they asked for 2 months to deal with the due diligence and all those kind of things. But what I said in the meeting at that time, I said to the work streams, I said, it would have been prudent for them, before they could start anything within SASSA, to have consulted with the work stream, I mean with the EXCO, because EXCO is an ultimate governance body that is running the day-to-day running of the organization. And they apologized, and then they said that it was an oversight because they thought they were reporting somewhere else. Then that was the issue, which is proven on one of the slides that they've put in on the camera, that they were reporting directly to the minister. That we fixed, and the minister did say we fixed it at that time. When I said that structure that you've put on there, that structure I think is wrong, because the people that were responsible or they were directly reporting to the minister were the Ministerial Advisory Committee, and they recommended that there must be work streams. And work streams were born. They were supposed to help SASSA to implement, not to report directly to the minister, as the minister was saying that they were supposed to have done that. So based on that, I was saying that this was an issue that was taking place, and it still carried on taking place even after. Sorry, Judge. Even after we have already spoken about it, because Ms. Mvulane will still talk to them on the side. They have meetings with the minister on the side without us being involved, especially me, that I was not involved in those meetings that were taking place outside. That was the reason why I was saying that this is what was taking place.
Was your concern that this would give rise to parallel processes, parallel reporting? Yeah,
it ended up on the issues of parallel processes. It came clear with the issue of affidavit.
And then the minutes say, you indicated it was important that the work stream should work with the branches as they were accountable to the agency and not to the minister. Is that correct?
Yeah, they were supposed to have worked with the branches, but initially they were not there, because if the CIO was responsible for the IT and all the things that were supposed to take place were the processes or the system that we were supposed to have got in, it would be based on an IT platform. And I asked the CIO, why are you not involved? She said on that meeting, Ms. Mvulane has been dealing with the issue of the work streams, not him. And he only got to talk to them a week before the 24th. So it was clear that the things were carrying on this other side and things were carrying on with this other side.
Was this creating a disruption in the lines of authority and reporting?
No, it is. It was impacting on our day-to-day running of the organization.
Now, the minute further goes on to say, if you could just read from, he indicated that's you, that he was not aware. You just read that sentence for the record.
Where about is it?
Where you were reading from, page 206 of the minute.
Yeah.
It's the paragraph that starts with EXCO members were of the view. It's about the third or fourth sentence.
Yes, he indicated that he was not aware of what was going on at SASSA, and all things despite the fact that he was appointed on the 1st of June 2016. The minister requested that he should stay as an acting DG until the appointment of the DG at DSD. Yes, I was not aware. That's the first time I got to know about it on that meeting. And I put it on to them, because it's them that were running the organization, that have never spoke to me.
And then read the next sentence.
This restricted his input on any SASSA matters, and therefore he could not speak on behalf of SASSA. The ADG urged the EXCO to take charge and control of the situation.
Who was the ADG?
It's me, I was an acting director general.
So at that stage you were still the acting director general, but you were about to be appointed in a few days' time.
I was already appointed, or maybe I was about to be confirmed and move over. The appointment was already done because the cabinet had already approved my appointment.
But the minister hadn't signed off on it.
They had not given me the letter.
So that stage, was that the first meeting that you had been, EXCO meeting that you'd been invited to at SASSA?
Yeah, this was the first meeting that I was invited in when I was in DG. There was one meeting where we were invited. It was in Emperor's Palace. Virginia wanted us to see on the work pack, things that we're doing on work packages. I think it's early 2014.
Who's Virginia? Is that Peterson?
Virginia Peterson, the former, I can't say former CEO. The CEO that I replaced at
during
SASSA.
the third phase as we've started, between June 2016 and this meeting in October 24, had you attended any other EXCO meetings?
No, this was the first meeting, and I'll say the last meeting because I was appointed on the 1st of November.
Then Mr. Mashlambu raised his concerns. Was he the ICT, was he in charge of the ICT process?
Yeah, he's in charge of the technology unit
and what was the unhappiness that he raised at the meeting?
I think maybe I jumped the gun when I said that. He complained that he was not involved, he was not being consulted, and he didn't feel comfortable with it because I'd already raised the issue that he was responsible for the ICT. He's supposed to have been involved.
Then, over the page, would you read what you stated in that paragraph?
Mr. Magwaza indicated that it will be an ideal for EXCO to be involved in the institutionalization of payment processes in order to own up to whatever report that was generated from the process.
Just pause there. What were you intending to convey there?
I was conveying the issue that work streams are supposed to be helping the EXCO to come up with the plan on how the takeover was going to be. And whatever report that is generated, it must not be the report of the work stream, but it must be the report that it's the SASSA report. SASSA is supposed to deliberate and to adopt the report and own the report, then implement the report.
In the next sentence, could you read that?
He wanted the executive members and regional executive members to take joint responsibility of the situation at hand.
What was your view in that regard?
The view in this regard is that they kept on harping on the issue that Zodwa is the only person that knows what is taking place, and they are not involved. And I said, but the onus is on them to make it a point that they are supposed to get themselves involved into the issue. But then they came back and said, look, we cannot be able to impose ourselves on this when we are not being told about meetings and we are not invited in anything. Zodwa says that the minister is the one that is responsible for this. The minister will invite whoever that they want to invite into the meetings.
So was your impression that the EXCO members felt marginalized in this process?
It was a common cause that they were marginalized because they said it openly in the meetings.
Then you would continue to read the ADG.
The ADG indicated that EXCO must understand their roles and responsibility in the process so that he would not be put to blame. He would not put the blame on the former CEO, Dr. Virginia Pisi, or project manager, Mr. Mvulani. Members should not say they were not given any information.
In the next paragraph?
Mr. Magwaza made it clear that he did not want people to point fingers at executives because of their omission, let alone what the executives might say to the minister. He reiterated that everything that SASSA was doing must be done legally and the minister should be protected.
Then Mr. McLeod inquired, who was he? What was his position?
Mr. McLeod is the regional executive manager in Gauteng region.
Then, if you would just go to page 208. There was then some presentation by members of the work stream. We see at 209 that Mr. Metcalf presented on behalf of business information and banking work stream. Is that correct?
Yes.
And then if we would go to page 211, the third last paragraph, just read that and explain what that was about.
Workstream governance and reporting. The pie chart indicated a solid line to the minister, while reporting to SASSA Exco would be through the steering committee. When Mr. Metcalf was presenting, I think it was slide 14, because I'll never forget it, because I referred to it all the time. On that slide, it showed that from the minister, it was the work stream. Then on the side, then it was CO and Exco. That was solid, and there was no line that was going through to Exco. But Exco would only get involved onto what is taking place through a steering committee, not through the Exco.
So there was yet another layer between the work streams and the Exco.
Yeah, there was the steering committee. Yeah, the steering committee that was written there. That, in fact, this was a proposal that they were putting. That I said they need to correct it as early as possible.
And then if you go just finally to page 214, the third paragraph, Mr. Magwaza. You just read that and that.
Mr. Magwaza raised a serious concern around governance structure. He believed the reporting line should be to Exco, not to the minister, which then imply a solid line should be to the SASSA Exco. He felt that Exco had been bypassed in the planning phases of the project and requested that the work streams to support and work with Exco. It was Exco's job to protect the minister. He recommended to the team on the work. He commended the team on the work done to date, but was disappointed with the lack of collaboration with Exco.
What were you dealing with there?
I think I've already explained on the issue that my thinking was that before they would do anything within the SASSA environment, they would have first consulted with the Exco. They would have come in and say to Exco, we have been appointed as the project, whatever they call themselves, project leaders or work streams, and these are the things that we envisage that we'll be doing. And do say to them, to the Exco, that we have requested the 2 months for the due diligence. Now, the minister kept on talking about they asked for that, but they didn't ask it from Exco. So Exco was not involved on that. The only time that they got involved is when they came with the preliminary report on the 24th of October.
And we'll deal with what happened after the meeting. The minister states that these concerns that were raised were then resolved thereafter. Would you comment on that? And in particular, we could return to your letter, page 982, that we had our earlier on, in the 4th of April 2017. And in particular, answer the question by reference to what you had said in paragraph 6 of that letter.
The issue of workstream carrying on working the way that they were working before. In fact, the workstream carried on working with the way that they were working before they came to present to Exco. In this way, that they were still working with Zodwa Mvulane, and Zodwa Mvulane was working with the minister. And I think the minister confirms that on her evidence, when saying that she was meeting with Zodwa on numerous occasions. And the minister was not meeting with the Exco. And she said she was meeting with the Exco, not at the time that I was there, except one meeting, which was a normal Exco meeting. It was on the 20th of February in Emperor's Palace. Driving there, I get a phone call from my PA, said that there is state security in the building, and they were cordoning everything. They were taking cell phones and everything. And I asked why. I said that they will be told that the minister is coming. I said, but the minister didn't tell me that he was coming to that meeting. So we got into that meeting with a normal exco, and as a CEO, I'm a de facto chair of the expo. So then I say to when you start with the program, I said, Minister, since we are here, though you didn't advise me that you're coming to the meeting, is there anything that you'd like to share with the folks, meaning the team, with the exco? She said, no, I'm not going to say anything until Ms. Mvulane gives her presentation. I said, oh, okay. So, okay, then I said, let's not waste time then, because if the minister is going to talk after Mvulane, let's defer anything, let's not read the minutes, let's not confirm the minutes and do all those things, and go straight to the reading of the presentation by Ms. Mvulane. And then Ms. Mvulane presented. The hell broke loose after Ms. Mvulane had presented. Minister started saying so many things to us, me being pivotal onto what she was saying that I did not like the work stream. I'm not giving the work stream a chance to do their job, and pointed some people within and said to the CIO, you CIO, you are not doing your job. Start doing your job. Stop concentrating on the work stream. Do your job. You're supposed to be doing so many things that we are not doing anything. Then she goes further, the minister, and say, Mr. Magwaza, concentrate on the day-to-day running of the organization. Stop bothering or hindering the work streams. Work streams were appointed by me, and they report to me, and you do not have to do anything about it. So that onto me. Oh, then the minister, when she first finished saying that, she stood up and left, and I raised it. I said, Minister, please, I think we need to sit down. We need to talk about this. You cannot come to the meeting, which is a normal meeting, extra meeting. You say the things that you say, and we don't get a chance of countering them or responding to them. She left, she got out. And I stood up, and I walked outside. And I went to her, I said, Minister, but it's unfair of you to do what you've just done. You are vilifying and belittling me in front of my staff members. And I don't think this is the right thing to do. I think we need to go back there and let's discuss the issue. She didn't say a word. The protectors stood up. They stood up, they ganged around her as if I was attacking her. Then I turned to Mam Kwena, who was the PA. I said, Mam Kwena, please arrange the meeting with the minister.
Former SASSA CEO Thokozani Magwaza testifying at the SASSA inquiry, talking about a meeting that the minister was present and talking around work streams and the interaction between himself and the minister, and him feeling as if the minister was belittling him in front of the people he works with. But stay tuned to ANN7 for further details and discussions around the SASSA debacle. Breaking news coming in this morning. The Hawks have raided the Free State Premier's and Department of Agriculture's offices. The search and seizure raids are linked to Estina Dairy Farm project investigation. The Hawks officials are set to meet the project's intended beneficiaries, and the Estina Farm in Free State is under a preservation order. The Provincial Agriculture Department invested 220 million rand in the dairy project. This is breaking news coming through this morning with regards to the Hawks having raided the Free State Premier's and the Department of Agriculture's offices. But for further details and discussion now, we are joined on the phone line by Hangwani Mulaudzi, Hawks spokesperson. Good morning to you, spokesperson. Thank you for joining us here on ANN7. If you could just provide some further clarity with regards to this breaking news, and maybe also confirm it that the Hawks have raided the Free State Premier and the Department of Agriculture's offices.
Good morning and thank you for having me. Yes, look, the operation is still ongoing. We started with this operation this morning. We are, of course, in the vicinity of Bloemfontein, where we are executing a search and seizure. There are specific documents that we are looking for. We have our serious anti-corruption unit, as well as our cybercrime unit working together in this operation.
Spokesperson, can you then confirm that these raids are in connection with the Estina Dairy Farm project and that investigation?
Of course, it's specifically looking at that, and we are hoping that we will finalize everything tomorrow, whereupon the documentation or whatever we have seized or confiscated will then be analyzed, pending taking back the docket to the MPA for a decision.
With regards to this breaking news, it's also saying that Hawks officials are set to meet with some of the project's intended beneficiaries. Can you confirm that and also talk us through what the purpose of that meeting would be?
Well, we have to get statements from them as well. There's a lot of talk about it. So it is incumbent upon us to make sure that whatever evidence that we can be able to pick up that will assist our investigation, we have to do it as soon as possible. So that is part and parcel of what we'll be doing. Which I'm told that will happen tomorrow, but we are quite sure that we will be able to finalize everything before the weekend.
All right, thank you very much, spokesperson, for your time this morning and for clarifying some of these details. We appreciate you talking to us. That was the Hawks spokesperson, Angwani Mulotsi, just confirming this breaking news that Hawks have now raided the Free State Premiers and the Department of Agriculture's offices. The search and seizure raids are linked to Estina Dairy Farm project investigation. Hawks officials are set to meet the project's intended beneficiaries, and the Estina farm in Free State is under preservation order. Also, the Provincial Agriculture Department invested 220 million rand in that dairy project. Stay tuned to ANN7 for further details. Well, the former SASSA CEO, Thokozani Magwaza, takes on Social Development Minister Batabile Dlamini and says that Dlamini was running SASSA as if it was her own organization. Former SASSA CEO Thokozani Magwaza said this while testifying before the SASSA inquiry on day 4 of the inquiry.
Report to Constitutional Court. And the minister made mention of the IMC yesterday. Minister calls the meeting to her house, and I was invited on that meeting. I think I was invited because I'm supposed to be signing the report going to Constitutional Court. When we were there, the workstream people were there. I think Dr. Makasela was there too, himself, and some few other executives. I think Rapasha was there, Ms. Ramkhupa. And they went through the report that they would like to be presented to the IMC. Then Dr. Makasela says to the minister, then it was agreed that minister says that they need to go and present this presentation to the IMC. Dr. Makasela, in his own words, said, Minister, I don't think it will be a good thing for the workstreams to present this to the IMC. I would have thought that they would present it to the EXCO, then EXCO is the one that is going to, or the CEO is the one that is going to present it to the IMC. Because if they go and present this, it will be seen as a parallel process. I'm quoting him verbatim. It will be seen to be a parallel process. This is one thing that happened. So the presentation did happen because the minister shook her head. She wanted them to present. They went to present to the IMC. Thereafter, IMC, as Minister Thing is putting it, says that the IMC adopted the presentation. Yes, of course, the IMC adopted, not adopted, they agreed with the presentation. Then thereafter, we're supposed to finalize the report to Constitutional Court. When that happened, Minister was going to Italy. So I was supposed to write an affidavit because we instructed in the court order that the report must be on an affidavit type of a report. So I'm supposed to be signing that. The minister is supposed to sign the confirmatory affidavit. And we met at the VIP lounge for the state security at the airport international side. We sat there because it was late, going around after 7, and so that we finalized both our affidavit. We agreed everything was fine. We signed. We're going to send on the report to Concord. When we were in IMC, all the things that the IMC felt that were important need to be put on the report. I was sitting next to Rapathe and sitting next to Zodwa, and I said to them, I think you hear what the IMC is saying. I would like you to put those points that they say, extract them from the report and you put them onto the report. Everything was fine. They said they were going to do that. During the day, the following day, before we were supposed to send the report, I get to know, I'm phoned by Rapathe. Rapathe says that he has just got an instruction that she must attach the PowerPoint presentation to the report. That is affidavit that I sign. I said, no, you can't do that. I cannot send to Concord a presentation on the PowerPoint. And secondly, it cannot be that we send the report to Concord, because that needs to go back to EXCO. EXCO's got to deliberate on the issues. Then EXCO's got to adopt the presentation and the report that they were supposed to have given the report, not the presentation, the report which they had not given at the time, and adopt that. Once it is adopted, then it will be the document that belongs to SASSA. Then we are going to present the report to Concord, the following report that we are going to do. Minister is already in Italy at that time. 20 minutes after I've said that to Rapathe, I get an SMS, which was not sent to me direct, was sent to everybody, because it says, dear colleagues. And that dear colleague SMS, it says, colleagues, the minister has instructed that the presentation of the workstream must be attached to the report, because it was adopted by the IMC. And I said, and then I answered, I said, no, I think it's not correct what you are saying. It's a presentation that was adopted. It's not the report. We are sending the report to Constitutional Court. It cannot be the presentation that is sent to Constitutional Court. But since you say it's an instruction from the minister and you are the chief of staff, then I'm obliged to tell my guys to include it onto this, though it's against my wish to do that. And I'm warning you, that's another point that is going to be seen as a parallel process. Because this report, this presentation is going to be attached on Magwaza's report, but it will be flying underneath Magwaza's report. There is no reference on it, on the affidavit that Magwaza has written. That is one of the issue of the parallel process. Oh no, that's the second one. The first one was the one that Makasela said in the meeting and said it will be seen as a parallel process. The second one is when the minister say, the chief of staff said the minister is instructed. The minister comes back from Italy, and I said to her, Ma, as I used to call her Ma, I said, Ma, you have instructed that this must be put onto the report. And I'm just want to say to you, we are trying to work against the issue of parallel process. But on the other side, we are pushing for parallel process. Everybody sees that is a parallel process. And I left it at that on this. The other part that makes me feel that this issue of parallel process is the issue of the meeting. I'm not sure whether we're still going to go through on the issue of the affidavits that were sent to Parliament.
Yes, we will. That's it, paragraph 32. Some of it you've touched on now, 32 and following of your affidavit. But there is overlapping, so I understand it's hard to keep them into discrete categories. Let's just continue. You have dealt with paragraph 12 of your affidavit. Would you read paragraph 13 and just elaborate on that of your affidavit?
I need to make the point that since July 2015, the minister understood the issues, was in control of the process, and knew or ought to have known of all developments in the important processes and matter.
Would you elaborate upon that?
I was referring to the issue because I did attach the letter of I think July 2015, and the fact that Minister, even yesterday she even confirmed it herself, that she was meeting with Rotom Vulane and the CEO, former CEO, frequently. So there is no way that they would have not told her of what was taking place.
Then paragraph 15 of your affidavit, you don't need to read it, but you say that, when I say read it for yourself, don't read it out. You say that SASSA genuinely believed the plan was ambitious, but nevertheless worked towards meeting such deliverables. SASSA commenced the process to implement the plan to achieve the deliverables as previously undertaken. This process was derailed once the minister directed SASSA to appoint the work streams in accordance with her directive. What do you mean by that the process was derailed?
Remember, I did mention the meeting that we invited one time to EXCO, sometimes in 2014, where the work packages were being discussed. There were about 12 of them. They were split amongst the executives. Every work package had a leader. It was like a Bible to Virginia, I must say this. It was like a Bible to her, something that she held so closely and dearly onto herself, meaning that they were saying that this is what is going to make new SASSA at the time. That is just after the Concord declared the contract, CPS contract, invalid.
How did the work packages differ from the work stream process that was ultimately implemented through the minister?
I wouldn't be in a position to say the difference, but it's only that when I start reading things going forward, is that they say that Workstream tried to take some of the things and collaborate it onto their report. There's a report that is attached, I think, on the SASSA file at the end, or the minister's file, where the work packages are there, but they are no longer 12, but there were 12 initially. So then when the issue of work streams started, how I got to know about the work streams at the time when that was happening is that the minister did invite me into a meeting with I would think it was the members of the Ministerial Advisory Committee, though it was two of them. It was two of them that came. It was Andile Nyonya and it was Tim Sugas. We were in her house. Andile was reading on the presentation on the things that they are going to put on the report. We're going to present to the minister. And at that time, then the issue of workstream came into being. I started seeing it at that level from the ministerial task team, though it was not all the members. And I must say that I was meeting Andy Lenyonya for the first time that day on the minister's house, and I never knew him to be part of the advisory committee. But the minister would change anybody at any time, and then Andy Lenyonya maybe was the member of the advisory committee. Thereafter, Virginia comes to me, and Virginia says to me, Mr. Magwaza, you are the only person that can be able to make sense to the minister all the time. The minister does listen to you. Can you talk to the minister about the issues of work packages? Minister has just come into the meeting and called me into her house and said to me, Virginia, these work packages are working against what I want to see happening within SASSA. It would have been nice if Virginia was here too as a witness, but so be it that she's not here. Then she said that. Then I said, I cannot be able to do that and go to the minister and say to the minister, the issue of the work packages or work streams or not. But the only thing that I can advise you is that if the minister instructs you and say to you, this is what I want, because she must put it in writing, then she will take the accountability away from you, and she is going to take that accountability and becomes hers. And it's a known fact that minister did exactly that. If you look, there's a letter, I'm not too sure which page it is, there's a letter, a submission that Virginia wrote on the issues about the work stream. Where she speaks about the issue of the project management company. She said, if the minister wants the work stream to come in, because the minister has already started talking about the issue that she wants the ones that are there to continue. In their report, the Ministerial Advisory Committee does include the issue of that the people that are this site, the people that are members of the advisory committee must carry on be the members of the work stream. Virginia was not happy about that. We discussed it with her, and we both agreed that it will be seen, if that happens, it will be seen as if these people that were in advisory committee are throwing javelin on the other side to find themselves work on the other side, and they become one and the same people that are doing the job. Then she said, this is my thinking, that we need to appoint a company. That company can appoint anybody to work with them. That's where the birth of the project management company came into effect. So you look at the submission of January, if I'm not mistaken, that submission says exactly what I'm just saying.
Can you go to the minister's bundle at page 57? See, that's what you're referring to.
Minister's list of documents, file 103 or which file?
Minister's bundle.
Page?
Page 57.
Can I carry on, Judge?
You can, Judge.
Yeah.
Yes, you may.
Yeah. If you look at in that page 57, 58, and 59, I think let's go to where I signed on the 29th of the 1st. I wrote something that supported for the minister's approval for SASSA to start with the process of appointing a project management company to oversee the process of insourcing of payment system for SASSA. Comprehensive social security to be included in the process, minister to approve the final appointment. So that says that this was what Virginia wanted and I supported. Then it goes further that we look at the submission of September 17.
Sorry, before you go there, page 57. Is that the minister's writing?
Yeah, this is minister's comments.
And she says, may I please be informed at all levels of this process to give the... Are you able to decipher it? I know she read it, she tried to read it out herself, but something about embarrassment, to avoid the...
Oh, okay. May I please be informed at all levels of this process to avoid the Accountant General embarrassment.
Was that, you saw that note?
Unfortunately, I saw the note now on the pad. Unfortunately, when the submission comes back, it goes to the originator. It does not come to the people that it went through. So I wouldn't have seen that. Virginia would have seen that. But the minister here, to note, the minister did not sign. But she wrote in front here, she didn't sign not approved or noted or approved with amendments. Usually she would sign, like you'll see on the 17th April.
Then you were going to go to the September. In between that September, we know there's we don't need to go there. It's the 9th of July instruction that was given to Ms. Peterson in regard to the establishment of the appointment of the individuals to the work streams. Recall that?
Yes, I do recall that.
We don't need to go there.
No, we don't have to go there. Safe to say that that was instruction, and you can tell that it is in between this submission of the 17th and the submission of the 29th. It's the company, project company first that was recommended by Virginia, then the letter comes in and say, this is what I want you to do. And if the judge will notice on that letter, Virginia did not, there's no attachment letter or anything that is instruction to Raphahle, except that Virginia decided to write on the letter itself with the ball pen, which is something that is not done within the government space. We don't write on top of this thing as an instruction. Minister can comment, but will sign at the end, like she's doing. Like I commented on the space where I'm supposed to put the remarks, you do that. But you don't write on this, when it goes to the next person, you write it on the letter and you decide that this is what. And she says, implement the minister's instruction. That on its own came up, when you look into it together with the submission of the 17th of September, where those people that were recommended by the minister or instructed by the minister, this other side, appeared on this submission. We had discussed with Virginia. Remember, I advised her. I said, if the minister instructs you to do what she wants you to do, then we are covered. You can let it go. Let the minister carry on with it. It has been just like that because the minister did that. We passed this thing through as instructed by the minister to her, and she signed it. The first one in January, she never signed it. She didn't even say noted. She didn't even say not approved. They didn't say that with amendments. She just ignored that. But she made a mistake of commenting on it, that she saw it, because that's the only thing that tells us that the minister saw the submission, because she wrote in front of it. But as you can tell, at the back it says that concurrence or amendment, approval or not approved. That is written on all of them. And the minister wrote so many things on the submission. This submission is the one that gave birth to the appointment of the work streams after the minister is instructed.
And Virginia was in favor, you say, of a management company because of perceived conflicts of interest that could arise by members of the advisory committee getting appointed directly as part of workstream meetings.
Yes, she was.
Now, the minister relies on the fact that you signed that September presentation or submission as an indication that you had given your approval to the workstream implementation process. Those particular, can you comment on that?
Yeah. In the government space, remember there's already a letter that says that the minister is instructed. And Virginia prepares the letter in favor of the letter, that submission in favor of the letter that the minister has written as an instruction. And it comes to me, it's not an approval. I think it should be read correctly. It says recommendation supported. Remember there have been deliberations before We had already discussed the issues, and the minister gave an instruction, so we implement the instruction. So I supported the issue that the minister has instructed, and we've given her what she wanted. I did not approve it. I couldn't approve. I did not have power to approve anything.
Now, just returning to your affidavit. You say paragraph 16, I'm informed that the first time that SASSA executive management interacted with the workstream was in October 2016. We've gone through that. You say prior to the appointment and to date, the workstream leaders take instructions and report to the minister directly through Zadwa Mlelani. Is that as you saw the reporting process that the minister had put in place in regard to these workstreams?
It has been like that up until I left.
And then you refer to the report dated 2 March 2016, referred to in this paragraph, was filed by the minister, possibly working together with the workstream leaders and does not represent SASSA's position. Is that the issue you dealt with earlier on?
Can we repeat that? The report dated 2 March referred to in this paragraph filed by the minister, possibly working together with the workstream leaders, does not represent. Yeah. There was a report that the workstream have written, and the SASSA EXCO who had written another report, which these reports were not incongruent.
If you read paragraph 17, you elaborate a bit on that. That was done by Ms. Mzobe.
Yeah, it was Mr. Mzobe. I think yesterday even the judge was saying that people get sick. Mr. Mzobe is the one that when I got sick, became a CEO, then she got sick, then Mr. Makasela became the acting CEO for Friday. That one Friday before I came back from leave, which I came back on Monday. That Mr. Mzobe is that person.
When were you on sick leave?
I was on sick leave on or during end of February up to the 3rd. Yeah, up to the 3rd. I went back to work on a Monday. I think it was the 13th of March, if I'm not mistaken.
And what was your view on the acting CEO signing the report, as opposed to you?
The one I think you are referring to will be referring to the affidavit of the 10 questions, because this one happened in my absentia by Mzobe. As I mentioned, that I found it very strange that she would sign a report just because I was on sick leave for a week. It's something that I would have thought would have waited for me, or they would have brought it to me to look into it at home, and I would have signed it at the time. But be as it may, we leave it at that. But the one that I think you're referring to will be the affidavit, which the minister mentioned that I refused to sign. I'm not too sure whether I'll give a context on that.
Yes, we'll get to that. Just to take you through some of the other documents that give some color to your affidavit. If you look at the Minister's Bundle, page 413, do you have it?
Yes, I do. I do. I do. I do have it.
This is a minute of a meeting of the work stream held on 17 January 2017. That's obviously after your appointment by the, when I say appointment, after your confirmation by the minister. You were now the CEO, and you attend this meeting? Were you invited to attend?
I don't know how to answer that one, Judge, but this is what I was talking about on the issue, that things were happening on the side without SASSA staff members involved. But it's possible that this was only workstream meeting. The only thing that is peculiar here is that the person who's chairing it is member of EXCO, Zodwa Mvulane.
Sorry, I don't understand the ultimate question. They asked you whether you were invited to attend the meeting.
No, we're not invited. Not a single person. I don't. Because if we're invited and did not come, did not pitch up, it would appear that it's apology, or it's going to say that we're absent on the meeting if we're invited. We're not invited on that meeting.
Then, can I just ask something? Normally, within the structure of SASSA, how did Ms. Mvulane stand in relation to you? Or was she not